Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the PodUp with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. PodUp, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Monday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. Sure, there's a lot of tired folks today after the Super Bowl. It was a heck of a game. You hated to see any of those teams lose, but it is what it is. Just some news and notes before we get to JC on the Titan MR hotline. Tomorrow we'll have Kevin O'Sullivan on the program talking Gator baseball. Men's basketball gets hammered at Kentucky, which I figured they would. They play tomorrow at Texas A&M. Women's basketball plays tonight at Auburn. Golf had a phenomenal turnout performance there at the Gator Invitational at the Mark Bostic Golf Course. Lacrosse starts tomorrow. Gator softball's 4-0, so a lot of stuff going on campus. And if you missed it, each school in the SEC got a smooth $55 million each. Having said all that, let's go to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by JC. Good morning, JC. How are you?
I'm a little weary-eyed, but I'm feeling good. I mean, it was a great weekend. QB, we had a great game last night. At least it was interesting. We had my man Scotty Scheffler, who was picked here on the Peachland Dental Picks contest to win the Phoenix Open, which I think was really that tournament kind of stole the sports show before the Super Bowl because of all of the excitement, QB, with the hole-in-ones and the just the fanfare on number 16 at that golf course. And, credit to the PGA for allowing that kind of thing to go on because I think the players really got into it. So that was exciting. The basketball team didn't do as well as we had hoped in Kentucky, but that kind of, I think, came as it was as expected to go because, I mean, clearly Kentucky's athletes and their post game and everything that they do is overwhelming at times. So other than that, the things you just described with the other sports and then the Super Bowl last night with my Rams, I feel bad for the Bengals, but I think the Bengals could be a team that could get back there, but it is so hard. And I know that that's not any consolation for Bengal fans. They played great. They played well. They're just a fantastic story, but it was about the Rams and Matt Stafford last night. So.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you did pick Scotty Scheffler. You had him and John Rahm and Kevin Streelman. I don't think he made the cut. My three golfers were Xander Schauffele, came in third or tied for second, however you want to put it. Hideki Matsuyama, I think, came in eighth, and then Troy Merritt was kind of middle of the pack. So we did some good golf picking, and that is a phenomenal golf tournament. I think the last four holes there might be the best last four holes on tour outside of finishing up at TPC. But it's phenomenal. 2 hole-in-ones by Carlos Ortiz and Sam Ryder. If you're not a golf fan, you need to Google the atmosphere there. There's nothing like it on tour. I wish it was more places like that, but it was phenomenal. It's not called I didn't realize this until watching it for 2 or 3 days. It's no longer waste management. They got rid of the waste management portion. It's just called WM because they do so many other things. And they had a lot of cleanup on hole 16. Back to the Super Bowl last night. Congratulations to the Rams. We both picked the Rams to win the game. I thought the Bengals played outstanding football. I didn't think this game would be close. I was shocked at the defensive line performance of the Cincinnati Bengals. Stats lie sometimes. Statistically, the Bengals were like 24th in the league against the rush. Rams couldn't block them. They couldn't run the football at all. And Matt Stafford. Here's how you win in today's football. And I've said it over and over. You have to have elite throwers of the football, and you have to have dudes on the outside that can make plays. And both of these teams have exceptional, phenomenal quarterback play and really good skill guys around it.
Yes, no argument here. I mean, Stafford, I think this game, and I don't think I'm overstating it, this game puts him in the Hall of Fame. I think, this is a guy that's had 45 game-winning drives since 2019. He's won his first Super Bowl in his 13th NFL season. He's the third quarterback to win a Super Bowl in his first year with a new team. The other two were Brady and Dilfer. And, he is, he did a lot of what he did last night on that 15 play drive without, Odell Beckham was missing most of all the games. So that hurt the Rams, but certainly is, I got another stat for you. Stafford has 3 game-winning touchdown drives that ties Eli Manning in a single postseason. Eli did it in 2007. 3 game-winning touchdown drives, 15 plays, 79 yards, 4 minutes and 45 seconds. And Cooper Kupp, 39 receiving yards and 39 receiving yards on that drive. Is that what I'm trying to say? But the 4th down play on the jet sweep kept them alive because that was the ball game. And, he also, as a player, had 2,425 receiving yards, which is 400 yards more than Calvin Johnson, Jerry Rice, and Larry Fitzgerald in a single season. So, he's making a strong case too. So he had to do it because without Beckham, the Rams were certainly affected, I think. And, when you're up 13-3, you don't want to lose that lead, and they did, and the Bengals deserve a lot of credit for staying in there.
Yeah, we got a bunch of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Melton Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Says here, Joseph says, I can pull it up here. Burrow tied the record. Dadgummit, why is this thing doing it? Burrow tied the record for the most sacks in a Super Bowl. Hard to win a game in that stat column. Look, nobody, unless you've been sitting under a rock the entire year, you knew the Bengals were going to give up a bunch of sacks in this game. I thought they protected pretty damn well. You got to remember they have 2 backups on the right side of their offensive line. They're backups, and they're backups for a reason. I thought they blocked extremely well for the most part. But here's the other thing people don't realize, and it drives me insane when these so-called analysts get on TV and talk about the right guard and all that. Well, the coach knows their lack of protection. What do the Bengals do about 85% of the time from a formation standpoint, JC? We talked about this the other day. They go empty, 5 wide. Okay,
yes.
You're going to give up sacks, and they do that. You go 5 wides because it gives you serious mismatches in the passing game. But you're also rolling the dice that if my quarterback can't get rid of the ball, doesn't know where to go with the ball, which Joe Burrow knows where to go with the ball. Sometimes he just holds it a little bit longer. And sometimes you got to credit the defense for coverage. You're going to give up sacks. So I'm tired of people talking about, if, you can't win. Yes, you can. They went to the Super Bowl giving up 9 sacks in one game.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or however many it was against the Titans. So you can. No. Do they need to address the offensive line? Yes, they do. Does this mean they're going to get back to the Super Bowl? No. You know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl? And plus, he plays in the same division, the same conference as Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen. So the Bengals may never get back, but they're headed in the right direction.
You're dead on. I mean, we did talk about the empty formation that Cincinnati runs basically, most of the time. And we also talked about the Rams pass rush. One of the stats that caught my eye was that they had 7 sacks in this game, which tied the Steelers from Super Bowl 10 and I think 2 other teams. Maybe it was Baltimore or somebody else. But their win rate was 86%, which is the most of any team this season. So they were playing against the Bengals. We're playing against the best pass rushing team in the NFL and still came inches away from winning the football game. But I will say this, QB, I think they love Joe Burrow. He's a franchise guy. He'll always play in Cincinnati, but I honestly think that if they don't find some more protection for him or do something different, he won't last 5 years in this league, QB. And the AFC is
he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. No, but I hear where you're going with it. But But you got to blame. You got to blame some of the protection schemes on some of the protection issues on the scheme and play calling from Zach Taylor.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. You know, the AFC with Tennessee, Kansas City, New England, Buffalo, all the quarterbacks that they have on that side in that area, and they could get an Aaron Rodgers that comes over to the AFC at some point. You never know, but it is going to be damn hard to get back to the Super Bowl. But Cincinnati's got, I think, the inside track to win the division for the next 3 or 4 years with all those players that they have. So if they can stay healthy, get some help up front, maybe Cincinnati has a very bright future. For the Rams, you know, this was all it. This was it for the Rams. I mean, they had to do it or else it was going to be a long drought. I think it still could be for them, but they still were able to, you know, execute the strategy, give up the draft picks, go free agency. I don't know how long or if they will sign Beckham and Von Miller. I do know that Beckham and Von Miller love playing in LA, and they may take home team pay cuts just to stay in Los Angeles, which offers so much other stuff for players to market their brand, so to speak, and be a famous person. You know, playing in LA is a lot different than playing in Cleveland. So I certainly think that these players may, as free agents, take less to stay there. But the Rams have 0 draft picks, and that was by design to get these guys to try to win.
They don't need it. But when you look at their roster, they don't need to fill any holes, really. We got a couple of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Melton Law, the only official law firm partner in the Florida Gators. Somebody here asked, do you think Whitworth and Donald retire? I think Whitworth's already said he's done, and he's going out on top. I don't think Aaron Donald. He's only played like 8 or 9 years, and they have a team they're like, I heard the odds, they're like the 3rd favorite to go back. They're going to be in the hunt again next year because they have so many good players. We got a text, not a text, but a Facebook Live question here. Joseph asked, is Jalen Ramsey the best corner in the league? Absolutely, yes. And it drives me insane when I heard some people talking about he gave up 2 big plays. Okay, he did. Well, the first big play was an unbelievable throw and an unbelievable one-handed catch.
Right.
Okay, on their first drive.
Right.
The second one was offensive pass interference if I've ever seen it.
Sure.
It was a blatant face mask. They yanked the guy's head. It should have been called. So yeah, Jalen Ramsey is by far the best corner in the league. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chase did make that great catch, and you know, Ramsey is one of those guys. He's one of those toys that the Rams wanted from Jacksonville, and they gave up a lot for him, but it worked. As you mentioned, the odds for next year's Super Bowl, they've got Kansas City at 13-2. They've got Buffalo at 7-1. They've got the Rams 3rd at 10-1. Cincinnati is 12-1, and Tampa Bay is 18-1. So those are your 5 favorites for next year. Actually, Green Bay is in there as well, 10-1. So
how is Tampa even one of them? I don't think Tampa's going to be very good.
Well, I don't know what Tampa's quarterback situation is, but you know, Aaron Rodgers, they keep sniffing. I keep hearing that name in Tampa, so who knows? But you know, Green Bay, Tampa Bay is pretty obvious to me. But anyway, we'll see. But the Rams and the Bengals are one of the 2, you know, 5 favorites to get back to the Super Bowl. And, you know, if it's all, you know, 20 games, QB. Both of these teams played 20 games. And I don't know if you think that's a big deal or not, but that's a hell of a lot of football. And really, I'm not sure I'm in favor of this 7-game playoff format where one team gets a week off. I don't know if you like it or not, but that's a lot of football, 20 damn games.
No, it's not. There's nothing wrong with it.
You like it, huh?
Well, I mean, it's 1 extra game. Big deal.
Well,
it's playing 20 and 19.
Well, okay, so it's 1 extra game for the Super Bowl. It's just it seems like to me it's a lot of football. But I don't know. Maybe, you know, maybe this is the way it's going to be. Maybe that extra playoff spot is a good thing. We'll see. I guess it is, but it just felt like the season, you know, the game felt like it went by fast. And then the season felt like it lasted forever. And I'm, you know, this is February the 13th. I think this is the latest we've ever had a Super Bowl, obviously because of the extra game that they played during the season. So at any rate, that's it now for a couple months. We can focus on golf and basketball and things like that. But it was a good game and a lot of fun. McVay, the youngest coach, QB, to win a Super Bowl at 36 years. He's 36 years old. And he's got a coaching tree that extends to 4 coaches who will have head coaching jobs. in the National Football League. So that's, he's done a great job in LA. He really has. I mean, they've won a lot there. 2 Super Bowl appearances.
Yep, he's a good play caller, man. Cliff says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melton Law, the first TD he gave up was against arguably one of the best wide receivers. He didn't give up a TD on the first one. That was just a phenomenal one-handed grab on a great throw like Joe Burrow. Taking him our text line from Ryan, he says, happy Monday, fellas. Congrats to JC and his Rams. Happy for Stafford and crew, but, man, I sure was hoping the Bengals could pick up about 15 more yards so McMoney could tie it up and we'd go to overtime. That would have been fitting considering all the close playoff, all the games throughout the playoffs. Yeah, thanks for the text, Ryan. Yeah, it was, Zach Taylor's going to question his third down run call, 3rd and 1 on that final drive.
Right.
So I basically, while I was watching that game, I'm like, if I'm one of these play callers with these 2 quarterbacks, I wouldn't call one damn run play the entire game.
Yeah, they couldn't run. They couldn't.
Did I lose you there, JC? Or you?
Yeah, I'm right here. Here I am. Go ahead.
Okay. John says McVay has won, but the Rams have spent a lot of money to be good, similar to Steinbrenner and Yankees. Yeah, they did. They gave up a ton, and as you mentioned, they don't have any draft picks. But honestly, I look at the Rams and I'm like, what do they need to draft? I mean, where's the weak link in their?
Yeah.
Now they're going to need a left tackle. I don't know who their backup left tackle is, but they'll go find somebody to play left tackle. But Rams did it. I mean, they went and got the quarterback that they. I mean, look, I remember saying it in 2008 or 9 or whenever Stafford came out. I was like, this dude is a legit NFL quarterback, and he just needed to get in the right system with the right franchise and the right team. And I'm very happy for him. His family, his wife, went through multiple brain surgeries for brain cancer. Mm-hmm. Just a good dude. Mark Brunell, who's a good friend of mine, who coaches for the Detroit Lions now, told me that, you can't find one person in Detroit, organization, whatever, that says one bad thing about Matt Stafford. What a great person and player that he was. So I'm really happy for him.
I think this game puts him in the Hall of Fame. He's won the Super Bowl now in his 13th NFL season. He's the 3rd quarterback to win the Super Bowl in the first year with a new team. Do you know who the other 2 are? Oh, I already said it. It was Brady and Dilfer. I'm sorry. I apologize. The other thing, Cooper Kupp. Let me mention this about Cooper Kupp. This guy may have made a case for a Hall of Fame consideration too, because Jerry Rice is the only player in NFL history to have to have the receiving Triple Crown, the Super Bowl MVP, and Offensive Player of the Year award before Cooper Kupp did it this year. Offensive Player of the Year, receiving Triple Crown, Super Bowl MVP. Jerry Rice is the only one to have done it. Cooper Kupp had 33 receptions, which is the most in NFL history's postseason, in the postseason. That right there is the kind of thing that gets you to Canton. Now, I mean, you just got to love the way those 2 guys, if you're a Rams fan, or if you just like good football, the way those 2 guys connect. It is really special. So I think if you like throwing the football, you like Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford.
Nope. Andy asked here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melton Law, why did the Bengals go for that 4th and 1 on their first drive? Seemed to be too aggressive at that point. Rams scoring on their possession then. I had zero problem with it. If you watch it, and I don't know why Collinsworth and them, when they didn't talk enough about it, the guy in the flat was so open, he could have just lobbed it out there, and they get the first down and about another 15 yards. Burrow made a bad decision. Also, the tailback kind of went the wrong way. They kind of clogged up his view of what was going on. But, man, the flat was wide open. I didn't have a problem with it because, honestly, I bet Zach Taylor was thinking, we're going to have a long day stopping the Rams offense. So we got to take advantage of this field position. But yeah, the Rams went ahead and scored there, but I don't think that had any outcome of the game. I know a lot of people are upset about the pass interference or holding calls there towards the end, but it kind of goes both ways, honestly.
Well, it did. It went both ways. I mean, you got away with a face mask if you're going to complain about that.
That's what I was referring to.
So that's correct. That's correct. The Bills, the Vikings and now the Bengals are winless in multiple Super Bowl attempts, but I think the Bengals have a shot and the Bills definitely have a shot of getting back. John Elway is the only quarterback who has spent longer getting his first Super Bowl win than Matt Stafford. It took Elway 15 years. It took Steve Young 10 years. And now here's Stafford in his 13th year. And QB, who are the other two franchises to win the Super Bowl in multiple cities? Now that the Rams have done it in St. Louis and Los Angeles, who are the other two? The other two, one should be obvious. The other one you may not get. But do you know?
Baltimore's one.
The Colts, you're right. The Colts did it with Indianapolis and Baltimore. Okay, and then the other
I
one.
I didn't know this was the trivia hour today, but I don't have my thinking cap on.
Well, it's okay.
The other one would probably be what was the question again?
The Rams are the third franchise to win the Super Bowl. Trivia to win the Super Bowl in multiple cities. You got one of the remaining two, the Colts. That's correct. With Indianapolis and Baltimore, and the other one would be the Raiders, who won it in Oakland.
I was going to say, because they've played in like 10 different cities, it seems like.
But they won it with Marcus Allen and so forth, Tom Flores in L.A., and of course they won it in Oakland. They've got three. So the Rams, the Raiders, and the Colts have won it in multiple cities, only three to do it. And the Rams and Bucks are the only two teams to win the Super Bowl on their home field, even though it didn't really feel like a home field advantage last night. I don't know if that's what the NFL wants. I guess it is, but it didn't feel like much of a home field. I think the Bengals were not affected at all by where they played. So
no, but you got to remember the Super Bowl. Whether you play in your home stadium or not, your home fans aren't buying the tickets.
Right,
it's such a corporate event.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Rap's opening its second location in the heart of Gainesville at 1931 North Main Street. Rap Spots teamed up with crew at Vibrant Vinyl Works to offer color change wraps, advertising wraps, custom striping, hood wraps, and wall wraps. Go check out our good friends at Rap Spot. Speaking with JC here on the Titan MR Hotline, recapping the Super Bowl, the golf, you name it. A lot of good stuff this past weekend in sports. Tomorrow's program will have Buddy Martin and Kevin O'Sullivan will join us talking Gator baseball. So anyway, we got a text on the Titan MR text line. It comes from Jim. Jim says, I just knew Matt Stafford was going to be Matt Stafford after throwing 2 interceptions. Look,
well, I mean,
first of all, I don't think either interception was his fault. The tip ball should have been caught by number 18, and then the scramble play on 3rd and 14 in the end zone that he threw it up. I thought Van Jefferson made a horrible play. He didn't even make an attempt to just tackle the guy. Go up, fight for the ball. As a quarterback, you trust your guys to go up and fight for the ball. And I didn't think he just didn't play it at all. And I don't know what Jim's trying to say there, but I thought Stafford was phenomenal.
You and I were the only two people in America last night that agreed about how kind of laissez-faire Van Jefferson seemed to be on that corner. Or on that deep corner pass, or whatever the hell it was. The sideline.
It was just a scramble play. It was a scramble play.
He just threw it up, and you got to. It's a one-on-one. You got to get up there and try to at least play defense as an offensive player, and he just sat there and watched the guy pick it off. So I think that kind of annoyed Stafford a little bit. And listen, quarterbacks trust guys, and sometimes there's other guys they don't trust, and the ones that they trust are the ones that get the ball the most. And you can see that developing with OBJ. And it certainly is the case with Cooper Kupp. And I think Van Jefferson's got a ways to go before he can get that from Matt. Because Matt's not going anywhere. He's going to finish his career in L.A. So if, but I'm with you, dude. I didn't see any effort to try to defend as an offensive player there on that pass or even try to catch it. So whatever.
Yeah, Dan, they're talking about tickets to the Super Bowl, saying that if you got one, it'd be hard. Even if you're a season ticket holder, it'd be hard not to sell it. Yeah, everybody sells their tickets.
That's right.
And he says Van Jefferson had a baby boy during the Super Bowl. How cool is that? Yeah, I heard about that. His wife went into labor during the middle of the game, and he went straight to the hospital. So,
cool. Well,
congratulations to him.
QB, you know who else had a big weekend was our man Sahith Theegala. And that tournament got him on the money list. And good for him. A guy drives a VW, lives with his parents, and almost won a tournament. The putt he made on 18 to keep him in third and avoid falling to 5th in this tournament saved him a lot of money. And I think we might be hearing from this guy because he seems to be, I don't know how you feel about the guy, but I think he's obviously got a lot of talent, man. And he can just play. He can flat out play.
Well, he's got a ton of talent because he's on the PGA Tour.
Well, yeah, sure.
B, he handled himself extremely well as a rookie. Yeah. And yes, he's been in the hunt here and there, but he was on a sponsor's exemption and played really well. Joseph says here regarding golf, brought to you by Mellon Law. I forgot who the golfer was, but did you see when the guy made the par putt and pulled up his shirt? It was Harry Higgs. And like I told you, if you're not a golf fan, you have to go back and watch all the clips from hole 16, the stadium event, where if you make a hole-in-one or a birdie or you do something crazy, how much beer do you think they sell just in that venue right there on hole 16? Because half the beers are thrown and then they clean it up immediately. It's great.
Well, and it wasn't just hole-in-ones, QB. They threw beer when the guy chipped in or made a long – I mean, it got kind of out of control. Yeah. I wouldn't. It's expensive. That's $12 you're tossing out there on the grass. It looks like with the way they pack them in, it's kind of a pain in the neck to go back and get another one. But listen, it's all part of the atmosphere. It just reminds me of the outfield seats in many SEC baseball venues or the LSU student section in a football game. So yeah, that was fun to watch. It really was.
It's phenomenal. Regarding the interception and us talking about Van Jefferson, Brandon says it was an underthrown ball. Yes, it was underthrown, but you got to go back and fight it. At least don't let the guy just have an easy interception is what we're talking about.
That's right.
So there was another Facebook Live here I had to get to real quick. Here it is. John says, what about Evan McPherson hanging out for the halftime show? I don't know if you saw that, but he was sitting on the bench. And, I thought it was great because honestly, kickers do nothing at halftime. They go in there. Sometimes they usually go in there. They go into the equipment room and eat a bunch of snacks, chicken, whatever it is, and then go back and get loose. So him hanging out there, I thought it was pretty good. What else you gonna do? What did you think about the halftime show, JC?
Well, Kimmy, oddly enough, I didn't see it because I got in the car and came back to get my dog and take her to the party that I was at. So I missed the entire thing. But I guess it was fine. Wait a second. You left the party to go get the dog. That's right.
Bring the dog to the party?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes, Toto. And, Toto enjoyed it. Toto, did you have fun at the party last night? See, she loved it. And, we fed her table scraps all night. And she got to run around with Xena. And, we're better than laying around the house. Sometimes when Toto lays around the house all day, she doesn't sleep well at night. So I needed to get her moving so she wouldn't wake me up last night. Because I was staying up pretty late, QB, as you could imagine.
Yeah, well, I don't get into halftime shows. If you like old school rap back in the 90s, it was very entertaining. A lot of people say it was one of the better halftime shows of all time, which I can't remember any of them, quite honestly. So I would say, it was pretty good.
Well, the one with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake was the one that got all the people excited because of the wardrobe malfunction. That got a lot of attention. But I'm one of those guys, QB, and I'm probably in the deep minority here. I don't care about the commercials. I don't even watch them, basically.
I don't either. That's
when I get up. And I don't care about the halftime show. It lasts too long. I just don't care. Maybe that's what everybody else loves, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm a little different in that respect. That's when I go do other things. But game was good.
I could care less about the commercials. I don't people talking about them all day on different shows today. I couldn't remember one of them. I didn't get up, but I watched them, but I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
So anyway, real quick before we let you go, JC.
Okay.
I got to read this one. Andy wants to know, what did we think about the Vernon Hargraves penalty? He was inactive, wasn't even dressed, and got an unsportsmanlike penalty.
Yeah. Well, I think, he's got to kind of know a little better, but I don't blame him for being excited. But I think if you don't have a uniform on, you shouldn't go running out on the field to celebrate a pick. I don't know. That's just the rule, right? You got to know that. But I'm sure he was embarrassed by it, but he was excited. This is the Super Bowl. And I don't know. They did. I think the officials, for the most part, tried to stay out of the way of the game. I think they really did. And like you said, those controversial calls go both ways. So, and I think Ron Horbert, I think as the lead official, I think they did okay at QB. I mean, you're not going to want to be the story of the Super Bowl as an official, and you certainly don't want to be one of the people. I mean, if you don't know the officials that are out there, I think generally that means they're doing a pretty good job and the players are playing well. So, a clean game anyway. So
I thought it was an outstanding football game played on both sides of the ball. I thought, like I told you, my concern going into that game, I really thought the Rams were going to win by double digits. I was wrong, only because the Bengals, I don't know how they stopped the run, and I was just shocked at it. I was shocked. I think the Rams would be able to do whatever they wanted to do.
Well, one of the things that helped was Beckham not being in the game. I mean, for the Bengals, but you're right. They did play very well, rushing as a rushing defense, probably the best game they've had in the postseason for sure. But, remember the Bengals are a very gritty and gutsy team. They won a tough division, and they beat Kansas City and Tennessee on the road, man. And they almost pulled this one off. So they've got a really good team there. I think the fans will rally behind them. I think they should celebrate their season, much as like what Joe Burrow said after the game, not to hang your head, but celebrate the season you had. And, it's the best season they've had in 30-something years in Cincinnati. And they'll be one of the teams that are considered a favorite to get back to the Super Bowl. But it's so hard. And in the AFC, I think you're going to be dealing with some really good quarterbacks that, you need a little bit of good fortune and a little bit of luck to stay healthy to get back. So same with the Rams.
All right. Switching gears real quick before we let you go. And I mentioned at the beginning of the show, since you're a financial guy, what are your thoughts on the SEC dishing out basically $55 million to each school?
Well, my thoughts are it's just going to get bigger. The money's just going to get bigger.
That's $9 million more than each school got last year.
Okay, here are my thoughts. My thoughts is that there is no surprise this conference is expanding. There is no surprise that the players who want to play in the NFL are migrating from all four corners of the galaxy to the Southeastern Conference. It's no surprise that Sankey has done a very good job of organizing and being a leader as a commissioner and not worrying about some of the extraneous things that I think commissioners worry about, like that slob up at the Big Ten, who I think is not a leader and who was ready to basically cancel a season during COVID. Kevin Warren, I think is his name. He's not a good commissioner. He is the opposite of what the Southeastern Conference has. So it starts from the top and it goes down. But the money situation, my man, is only going to get bigger and better because of the TV contract that's about to expire that they are going to sign over again. And I've already been told, and I know this for a fact, that Walt Disney is going to spend a lot of money to keep the ESPN sporting rights for college football. And it is no surprise that Oklahoma and Texas asked to come to the SEC, and everybody else is pissed about it. And that's just too damn bad. You better saddle up and get better at your game, because the SEC is turning into a super conference, and it will probably become one, in the next 10 years in some point with 20 teams. Who knows? I don't know. I know that the business is to expand, and they are going to become 16 teams strong here soon. And he is just that much better than guys like Kevin Warren and other commissioners. Larry Scott fool that was in the Pac-12. Is that the most irrelevant conference? The Conference of Champions, says Bill Walton. Well, they win in volleyball maybe, and they may win in lacrosse, but they don't win in the sports that pay the bills.
They ain't won in either one of those sports you just mentioned. I don't know what they win in rowing.
The Conference of Champions has done it again as Washington State beats the Arizona Wildcats on Saturday night in Tucson, Arizona. And there couldn't be a more irrelevant league right now. So I think it's great.
That's pretty good. Can you give me another one of those?
Well, Conference of Champions, they're going to take the Final Four with possibly USC and UCLA, the Conference of Champions.
That's outstanding, JC.
I do love Big Red. By the way, I did meet Big Red when he was down here. Actually, I think it was when Norm Sloan was a Florida basketball coach years and years ago. Bill Walton came down to call a game, and I got to meet Big Red. He's a great guy, but man, he's a little bit on the deep end when it comes to the Conference of Champions. They're going to win. So anyway, look, the SEC is fabulous.
But what's crazy? What's crazy though, JC? He calls them Conference of Champions. I used to think it was really funny, but that's their slogan. I don't know if you've ever noticed.
I know
our slogan. It just means more. Theirs actually says Conference of Champions.
Exactly, it sure does, and it is funny. I think the rest of the country's laughing. But listen, man, Vanderbilt should be counting their lucky stars. They get some of this money because there isn't one school that contributes less on the football field than that trashy little school in Nashville. And I think, without baseball or whatever the hell is they do up there at Vanderbilt, I have no idea why they're in the SEC. But we've got them, and they get paid, and hopefully they'll start putting some money into their sports programs because schools like Vanderbilt and the University of Miami, I don't know what they do with the money, but they don't put it back into the investment that is required to make your sports programs legitimate and respected. And maybe Miami will start doing that. But Vanderbilt, I have no idea. I have no idea what they're doing with the money. Hopefully they'll do the right thing and get that program back on the map because it's an embarrassment.
Okay, last shot. I was shocked the game was even close for a long time.
The talent difference is dramatic. It's really crazy. But that's not just with Florida, folks. The talent difference with Kentucky and the other schools in this league, with the exception of maybe Auburn, is pretty lopsided. It just is. I mean, this school is a powerhouse. They're going to go deep, I think Kentucky is.
Yep, I agree. All right, JC, good stuff as always. Give me one more Bill Walton before I let you go.
Oh, Stan, the Oregon State Beavers are tough. They're going to play hard in Corvallis. And I'll tell you another thing. Stanford better watch out because Oregon State is for real.
Conference of Champions. All right, Corn Dog, we'll see you, my man.
You bet. All right, adios.
That's JC joining us on the Titan MR hotline. Going to take a timeout, come back, get to some of your Facebook Lives and texts. You're watching and listening to PodUp Matthews in the morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Aikido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They are getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmitt. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points for the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, Regal Cinemas, Le Macaron, Dave & Buster's, Medici's, Palmetto Moon, and the HBC's restaurant Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now serving brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. We'll see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan Tomorrow hotline and giving us his Bill Walton imitations. I love that. I got a text here on the Titan Tomorrow text line. It's more of a question, and I'm going to throw this out to our listeners. It comes from Bobby. Bobby says, who has the better chance to go to postseason play? I think he's referring to Omaha or OKC. Who has the better chance, Gator softball or Gator baseball? So, gosh, that's a great question. I always talk about as many times as Tim Walton takes people to Oklahoma, there's his team to Oklahoma City, I would lean towards softball. But we'll talk to Coach O'Sullivan tomorrow, get his thoughts. I mean, it's so hard. The SEC and softball and baseball is so freaking hard, it's ridiculous. Andy says, at the risk of mentioning the Olympics, we don't talk about the Olympics on here, Andy, just kidding. Did you hear that Gator Erin Jackson won a gold medal in the 500-meter speed skating? She put skates on 6 years ago. Yes, and I saw a clip, and I don't know if our folks on the PodUp page on Facebook posted it or not, but it shows her getting on ice like I would put on skates and just you'd be so nervous just stepping on the ice. It showed a video of her doing that. Truly amazing, quite honestly. But congratulations to her. I've still yet to watch any of it, not because I just forget about it, and I'm really not interested. Dan says Bill Walton was sitting on 3 stacked chairs the other day calling the game. Yeah, he's a piece of work. John says on Facebook Live, QB, did you catch any Gator softball? I thought Lexi Delbury was great against Michigan. I missed it this weekend. I will check them out this week for sure. Dan says softball is a better shot year after year. I agree with that, Dan. For some reason, it's just much harder in baseball to get there. Tim likes this squad for sure. So we shall see. And like you said, if you're a sports fan and you've never been to Oklahoma City, make sure you put it on your bucket list. It's a phenomenal week of sports out there for sure. Hey, Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. If you missed it at the beginning of the show, Gator Golf have a phenomenal turnout at Gator Invitational this weekend in Gainesville. Men's basketball loses to Kentucky, gets blown out. Kept it close at times, made some runs here and there. And then they play at Texas A&M tomorrow. We'll talk about that a little bit. Women's hoops plays tonight at Auburn. See if she can keep it going. They're hot right now. So John says LSU lost to Central Arkansas and Illinois. They were struggling this weekend. I did not see that. I think Alabama had a good weekend. I think they played out at some tournament in Tucson. I think they ruled the Arizona Wildcats, which I think they're highly ranked as well. So softball, I think, plays at JU tomorrow. They're back in Gainesville against JU on Wednesday. I don't have the schedule in front of me. Andy, great question on Facebook Live. Who does Trent Whittemore have on his segment on this Wednesday? Trent has Justin Shorter, I believe. And what we're going to do is Trent will let you know. He's going to let you know. He told me the other day. So that way y'all could send him questions to ask his guest via the Titan MR text line. It will start, the questions portion will start next week because he talks about it on his show this week. But I hope. Oh, he has Pouncey, not Justin Shorter. He has Jordan Pouncey. My bad. That was a mistake on my part. But I hope y'all enjoy that. Trent, I thought he did a really good job his first time, and it's only going to get better. Dan says he'll be at the A&M game tomorrow. All right, Dan. It's a game we got to win. A&M plays extremely hard at home. I like the way their teams play, but they're just not winning games. John says UCLA played OU, great atmosphere. Who won that game, John? I didn't see that, but you're talking about two powerhouses, probably two of the best teams in college softball. I got to get into softball. I was into golf and football too much this weekend, a little bit of college basketball. I watched way more golf than I normally do on just a regular tour event, but the atmosphere and the way the holes are set up at the TPC course there in Scottsdale allows for so much excitement because they have these reachable par 5 on 15 with an island green, very dangerous second shot. Then you go to 16, the stadium around hole 16, the par 3, and then 17 is a drivable par 4 with a lake next to the green that causes a lot of penalty shots. And 18 is a tremendous finishing hole. So I got roped into golf this weekend when I was around. If you missed it, the Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. JC and I both picked the Rams to win and cover. Didn't happen. JC actually on our golf picks picked Scotty Scheffler, and he won in a playoff against Patrick Cantley yesterday, if you missed it. So anyway, I want to get to this day in sports, brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring team members with all levels of experience, great culture, $1,000 signing bonus for qualified positions. Give them a call, 352-376-2366. This day in sports. Pull it up here. Last year, 2021, the 63rd Daytona 500, Michael McDowell navigates through a fiery final lap pileup to claim his first career NASCAR Cup Series win in his 14th season. The race was delayed by rain for 6 hours after a huge lap on 14, big, huge crash. So that's the Daytona 500, which I believe is in the next couple of weeks. That's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. I'm going to take another time out here, come back, wrap up this Monday, Valentine's edition. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, Steve Spurrier here. You know, making a reservation at my restaurant is easier than a Saturday afternoon homecoming game against Vandy. You don't have to call or email. Just go to spurriers.com, hit the reservation button, pick a date, number of guests, and a time. It's so simple, I can do it. In fact, I just did. Maybe I'll see you tonight.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. South State Bank, we understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking for member FDIC. Let's see what we said right here. Andy asked, didn't JC have Beckham to score the first touchdown? I think he did when we were doing our prop bets, and I don't know if he actually bet it. But I think you're correct. Shane asked, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law. Jackson used to train at the Ocala Walmart parking lot speed skating. She's a Gator grad and first black person to win a speed skating medal. Yeah, it's crazy. But literally, I saw a video of her when she, like you said, it was like 5 or 6 years ago, putting on ice skates, and looks like she was scared to death to get on that ice. And I don't blame her. John says, for the 8th year in a row, the loser of the coin toss won the Super Bowl. What a wild stat that is. I think I've mentioned this on the program before. I've never understood, that now that, they got microphones down for the coin toss with the official, whether it's college, pro, whatever. And then, they flip the coin, whether you win or lose it, the fans go crazy, which it has no bearing on the outcome of a game. If you win the coin toss or you lose the coin toss, but the fans go crazy. However, the stat for the 8th year in a row, the loser of the coin toss won the Super Bowl. Yeah. I don't really pay attention to the coin toss, really. Most teams used to take the football if you win the coin toss. Most teams nowadays defer, so they're hoping they get that score right before the end of half and then get the opening kickoff of the second half. It's kind of a 2-for-1 type deal sometimes. So we shall see. Hey, folks, if you got joint pain in your knee, shoulder, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. Give them a call. Every time I read that, I always think of Emmett. Emmett's a big spokesperson for QC Kinetics, and they showed Emmett last night among all the celebrities at the Super Bowl. You noticed that it was in the state of California, but none of those celebrities or any of those people wearing their masks. Crazy. So anyway, tomorrow's program, don't forget, if you got any questions or comments, shoot them to us on the Titan MR text line or on Facebook. We'll start the show off with good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. Second portion of the show, we'll have Kevin O'Sullivan live, head baseball coach of your Florida Gators, get his thoughts on his they start this weekend, get his thoughts on who his rotation should be, all that good stuff, but just get an overall general view of how good this baseball team can be. It's a top 10 team, but the SEC is just loaded with talent to be a bloodbath week in and week out in conference play. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's program. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Have a great Valentine's Day.